Hello, hello, welcome. I am getting on a little bit late. I apologize, but hello to anyone watching the replay. I'm Tatiana. I'm a business coach and mentor for women wanting to get started with their own businesses. I'm so excited you all are here. We're going to be chatting it up, catching up on some different updates and everything, as well as talking about increase. So I'll get into that in a little bit. I will be going live over on Instagram in a moment, but before I do that, I wanted to just talk about a few things with you all. But before I even get into that, I just need to take a second to just cool off. I've just been running around for the last 10 minutes trying to get on here on time. My daughter is here with me today. She was supposed to be at school, but she's had a cough and we didn't want her to go just in case. Um, just, not to be coughing on other kids and stuff, since she's not really the best with covering her mouth. So I wanted to give her one more day to stay home with me to just get herself together. But in the midst of that, it ended up being me getting on a little bit late. So I apologize for those of you that I saw that were on. But hey, Takia, hey, Kiata, thank you for joining me. But yeah, so I'm excited to chat and catch up, but I'm a little out of breath. So I apologize if I'm trying to catch it. So anyway, enough of all of those things. How is everybody's week going so far? How is your day? What's been up? What's new? For me, last week I was in Pensacola, which was really cool. I had my first speaking opportunity for the Creative Society, Society of Creative Founders conference that was held there. It was a really, really good time. I met some amazing people, both attendees as well as other speakers. I talked all about being bold and in your purpose, and it was just a really good time. I got a chance to get on the beach. So I have a vlog in case you're curious or you just want to kind of see how it was. That vlog is going to be going up on Saturday. So I'm excited for that. And then also, let me pull up my notes to make sure I stay on task. And hey, Derica, I'm glad you were able to get on as well. Definitely glad you were able to get on. Okay. Also, in addition to that, what was really cool was just the chance to feel like my answered prayer was happening, because I had been praying about speaking for a long time. And so the fact that that was something I got an opportunity to do this year was really cool. I've mentioned this in past videos and things, but it's always frustrating when you feel like you're living in your purpose, you're doing everything you're supposed to do, but you feel like you're being overlooked. And so that was kind of the feeling that I had. And just being able to, oh, did it cut out? Can you guys still hear me okay? I froze on my end, so I just want to make sure you can hear me. Let me know before I keep going. I'm going to grab my hard wire just in case. Can you guys hear me? Oh, no. Okay, let's see. For some reason, you can't see me. Let's try this. Okay, you know what? We're gonna just keep it chill. Okay, can you guys see me and everything? Okay. I don't know. Something is going on with my camera this morning. I couldn't see myself in the viewfinder when I plugged it in, so I think that might have been an issue. Let me know if you can see me now. Quality's not the best, but if it's working, that's all I care about. Okay, cool. Thank you for hanging in there with me with that. I don't know what just happened. What was I talking about? So yes, Pensacola, it was amazing. Basically just saying that it was an answered prayer to just be seen, to be able to pour into other people through someone else's platform was just an honor. And I was just very, very grateful for it. So that was really cool. But that blog will be up on Saturday in case you want to just see how it was and everything like that. So before I get live on Instagram, I wanted to just talk to you all really quickly about one thing before we get into the full combo and all of the other updates and stuff. So because I am launching my shop soon, it's the Inspire Blueprint shop. The Instagram is kind of tied to that. And so I have, in a way, two different kind of things going on. And so I wanted to just quickly share about something that I'm doing. It's the first time I've ever done this. And it's a boot camp that I'm going to be teaching. So I wanted to talk about it first because Instagram doesn't necessarily need to know for this particular thing. And then I'll add them in a moment. But basically, I'm going to be hosting a planner and notebook boot camp. I'm very excited for this. So pretty much what this is, it's going to be a live 90-minute training that I'm going to be hosting. But what's cool is it's gonna be no fluff. I know I always talk about giving you the fluff and all that stuff, but this is gonna be a straight to the point boot camp. So you're gonna get everything you need to know when it comes to getting a planner or a journal manufactured. I'm going to go over 8 different ways of how you can do that, just with different companies, different types of processes, and different things like that, so that you can figure out what works the best for your business. We're also going to talk about just the kind of the pros and cons of the different options, so that you walk away knowing exactly what's the best fit for you. And I'm going to give you an action plan. So my goal for this is, I'm thinking it'll set you up so that in 2023 Q1, you're good to go and you can pretty much hit the ground running and already have the steps you need so that you can launch your planner or journal next year. So that is what it's going to be all about. The actual live training is going to be taking place on December 3rd at what time is it going to be at? Oh yeah, at 9 my time. So that would be 11 Eastern time. And basically what's going to be happening is we are going to get on live. It's going to be for 90 minutes. There's going to be Q&A. You're going to have a workbook. There's also some bonuses and extra things. So tons of stuff. If you're interested, I'll make sure that that link is in there for you all. I might even drop it for you in the comments as well. I know some people are watching from Facebook too. So if you're interested, I'm going to drop it on the YouTube comments for now, but then I will definitely update everything for you if that's the case. But does that sound like something anyone will be interested in? I'm really excited about it. And yeah, it's going to be a really, really good time. Again, it's just straight to the point. So there's not going to be a whole lot of like, oh, this is how you launch and this is how you do this and this is how you get out of your own way. Like, we're going to get in there. We're going to get straight to the point. If you sign up today, you will get access to some of the things now on the workbook, and some of the more specific things of the training. They will actually be a part of it the week before, and then the actual training will be on the 3rd. There'll be a replay and all of that fun stuff. So I just pasted the link. I don't know if this link will go to both Facebook and Instagram, but I think it's just going to go to not Instagram, Facebook and YouTube. I think it's just going to go to YouTube. But yeah, I will update on Facebook soon. Okay, cool. So glad that you guys are excited. I'm very excited about it as well. It's definitely, like I said, it's the first time I'm doing this, but I really want to start kind of offering these boot camp style trainings. And so I wanted to test it out. And I thought this was a perfect time because we're getting into the new year. Everybody's going to want to create something new. So it's a great time. Let's see. Derica said, is this a good for advanced or beginners with planner making? So this is going to specifically be for anyone that wants to get something manufactured, and they're wanting to know all of the different options they have. And I'm going to try to help you to best find the one that works best for you, your business, your needs. That's what it's going to be for. So it's not necessarily for like an advanced or a beginner. It's really just for someone that's wanting that process, wanting the list of the manufacturers, and just definitely like some tips to kind of someone that's done it, someone that's worked with people that's done it, so that you can get started right away. So if anyone has any other questions, feel free to drop them in. And so now I'm going to get on Instagram too, so I can add them in, but I wanted to share that info with you all first. So let me go ahead and get live on IG, and then we will get started. But cool. Yes, definitely. Hello, Instagram. Welcome. I am doing a live today. We are going to be talking about some fun Inspire Blueprint updates, as well as some conversation around increase. So welcome, welcome. The first thing that I wanted to touch on really quick is just a few updates for everyone that's watching. I'm also on YouTube and Facebook as well, so I'll be looking kind of in some different directions. But I wanted to just say thank you to everyone, first of all, that supported my podcast, y'all. I'm very grateful for the support, for the love, for the listens, for the reviews, and the ratings and everything. The podcast has over 500 downloads already, y'all. Like, I can't even believe it. So I just wanted to first say thank you. This was definitely something I was nervous to put out there. And so the fact that so many people showed up for me and supported, I just appreciate it. I was actually talking to my dad the other day about it, because he's been listening to it, which I thought was really cool. And I told him, I was like, somebody gave me a 1-star review. And I was like, I always kind of have that issue where like I will focus on the one negative thing instead of focusing on all of the positive things that are really what I need to be, kind of channeling my energy to. And he had just basically said, like, there's always going to be somebody out there that isn't going to like what you're doing. You're not for everybody. So it was just nice to hear my words thrown back at me a little bit. But yeah, I'm really grateful for the support and that you all are enjoying it. It has been so much fun to create. So I just wanted to say thank you. That was the first update I wanted to share. I will be announcing the winners very soon because there was a contest that I had going on. There's going to be a total of 4 different winners. So if you signed up for that or if you entered that giveaway, I will be sending you an email by the end of this week to let you know that you won. So I'll talk more about that soon. And then also another thing I wanted to just quickly mention is kind of a twofold thing. So the shop is going to be launching on November 17th, which is actually my grandmother's birthday. So I think it's a special day. But I'm going to be launching Inspire Blueprint Shop then. That shop is pretty much an extension of who I am, where I am within my life. If you've been following my journey for a little bit, I closed the Stationery Muse earlier this year, but products has always been a huge part of who I am. And I had no intention of not doing them, but I just needed to do them under this new umbrella. And so that does mean there will be some stationery items. There will be some apparel. There will be some Bun Girl. So definitely, if you're interested, just know the 17th, all of the countdowns, sneak peeks, and everything are coming really soon, but I wanted to share that official date. So that is on the horizon. And then the last thing is I am throwing the vision board party this year as well. So tons of announcements today. I am going to be hosting a vision board party. It's going to be taking place on December 10th. I will be finalizing the exact time that it will be. And I'll be sharing that. There's already some people on the wait list for the vision board party. But if you're interested, definitely make sure you get on the wait list so you can be the first to know all of the details. It is going to be held on Zoom. And I did it 2 years ago. It was one of the most fun experiences I've ever done in my life. I was so grateful. We had speakers, we had sponsors. We had giveaways. There was a digital swag bag, like tons of stuff. And there was so many ladies on, and we were all just working on our plans and our goals for the upcoming year. So I'm excited to host that again. All of those details will be coming soon. So now that we got all of those updates out of the way, hello again to anyone that might be joining. Let me know, how is your week going? I wanted to go back because I saw that someone had responded. It was, let's see. Yes, Kiata. She said she's had a rough weekend, but the week is going better. Well, I'm very sorry to hear that your weekend was rough. I honestly can relate. I have not had the best set of days myself. So I just want to send you a little bit of positivity and some love your way. I hope that it's going to continue to get better and that this next weekend will be beyond what you could expect, just to make up for the rough moments. But I'm glad to hear that it's getting a little bit better. Glad everyone else seems to be doing well as well. All right. So cool. Okay. So I wanted to talk about increase. I have been breaking down my acronym. It's the Inspire acronym. And it was to just share a bit more about the brand Inspire Blueprint. Like, what is it? What can you expect from it? But more so just the deeper meaning, kind of like the heart behind it. And so I've been breaking down all of the different pieces and parts through my videos, through my content and everything. We've talked about being intentional, defining your success, really figuring out what you need to have peace in your life. We've talked about, nourishing yourself, S, success, P, peace. And so today we're talking about the next I, which is increase. And when I recorded this episode, I have it on the podcast if you want to hear the whole breakdown of the acronym and what all of it means and all of those things. But when I did this specific letter, I felt like there was something that needed to be within. When you're building a life that you desire, you're building something that you want for yourself, for your family, for your future, that it's important to be able to reflect, but then also realize that things can get even better. And I know sometimes we can feel kind of shied away from wanting more for ourselves, or feel like it might come off as greedy or not grateful or different things like that. And so I kind of just wanted to talk through my thought process with this. Hopefully this will encourage someone just through what I'm sharing, but it's just mainly to kind of give you, not saying you need it, but giving you the permission to want increase in your life in whatever area it may be, because it doesn't have to just mean increase in income. It could mean just an increase in your relationships, more abundance just within yourself, feeling fulfilled in what it is that you do, increase with your environment, things that surround you, removing negativity, whatever that looks like for you. And so I have a couple of points, like I always do. And I've basically summed it into three different things that I wanted to touch on. So it's going to be very short and sweet. But the main thing is, I want everyone that's on the live, watching the replay, to just reflect back to 5 or 10 years ago, who you were, the younger version of yourself. And think about what was something that you were really hoping would happen one day, that you were really praying for in that season, or that was just really challenging for you and it didn't seem like you were seeing the light of day, for that matter. I know for me, when I think back to about 5 years ago, one of the things was that I was starting to think that I wasn't going to be able to get pregnant. And I know every woman has a unique journey with this. And so I definitely never want to take away from anyone's experiences. But for me, it had been almost a year of trying. And it got to the point where I was like, okay, maybe we might need to seek some, assistance, or we might need to make sure that there's nothing wrong with me, because at this point it had been almost a year, which is a long time. So I had said, literally, it was this month, it was November of 2017. And I was like, okay, after this year is over, I'm going to try to reach out to get some help in January to see, like if there's something going on or whatever the case may be, with me or whatever it is. And so I kid y'all not, I ended up getting pregnant, and I found out that I was pregnant on December 28th. I think it was. It was a little bit after Christmas. And so I share this story because I was praying really hard to have a baby and, get pregnant and all of these different things. And so now, fast forward to today, I'm getting ready to get on this live with you all. My daughter is home with me, my daughter, the thing that I prayed for. And I'm frustrated, right? I'm upset because I'm trying to run around. She wants snacks, and, she's supposed to be at school today, but she's not feeling well. So I already have that anxiety of just like, I want her to feel better. And then on top of just everything happening all at once in my mind. And I had a moment where I had to stop and be like, okay, you need to breathe. You need to calm down, because I'm getting ready to get on this live and talk to you all about increase. But you have to always, before you want more, you have to look back at where you came from. And so there was a time when I didn't even know if I was going to be able to have a child. Is basically what I'm saying. I was feeling like maybe it was going to be a bit of a struggle for me to have one. And so, I prayed for her. I cried all the time when she was in my belly. And so even though there's those stressful moments today, that was increase. That was me praying about something, hoping for something really bad. And now look at me today. I now, don't as much hold her as I used to, but now she's here in front of me. And I'm so grateful, even though it can be stressful. And so a lot of times, tell me if there's anything that you have ever prayed about or that you hoped for. And now when you really think about it, it's sometimes the thing that causes you, sometimes it feels like the most burden, or it seems like an inconvenience at times, or it just doesn't seem like as big of a deal as it did at the time of when you were like really hoping for this change to happen. And this can be in any aspect. It could be like a new job, like maybe you were really hoping for a new job opportunity, you got it. Now, 4 years later, you are literally like, I hate this job. These people are getting on my nerves. I'm ready to go. But there was a time when you were so grateful to get it. And so that is just an example of how we can reflect, just thinking back to our past selves, our past desires, the things that we wanted, and how now we're living in them. And it just shows proof that we can continue to grow as people. We can continue to have increase. And I think that it's always important to realize that we haven't really arrived just because, that one thing happened to us and it's like, oh, okay, well, nothing good's ever going to happen again, or whatever the case may be. I think it's always important to just be expectant, which I'll talk a little bit about. So let me see if anyone is saying anything. Y'all are like so quiet. Hopefully you're kind of understanding what I'm saying or relating at all to what I'm saying. Let's see. Oh, Derek has said, I feel I am in the midst of a struggle and can't wait to look back. Yes. Ooh, I'm so glad you said that because that actually is my second point. So, the second point is growing season versus sowing season. So, what I've really found, and I'll just share a very personal story, like I always do. I feel like I always, but a personal story. So, it's actually been a year since I went full time with entrepreneurship. So, it was last October when I resigned from my position and just started kind of doing my own thing by myself. And at the time, I felt like, ooh, I'm in my growing season. Like, this is about to be so good. I'm going to, like, double my income. I'm going to just have the most amazing 2022 ahead. Life is great, all of these things. And so I just knew that this was my growing season. I knew that this was going to be a time of just a ton of abundance and what I feel is my definition of success and all of those things. But what I have really found is that this has been my sowing season. And it's been a hard pill to swallow for me because the year is just not going how I envisioned at all. In every area of my life, it is just not going how I envisioned. And so the main thing with this is just once we're reflecting on those points in our lives, there's always going to be a time where it feels low. That's our sowing season. That's the season. I remember when I was into gardening, I had a gardening kick for a while and then it kind of got on my nerves. So I took a break. But there's a time when you're gardening and you're putting the seeds in the soil and you water it and you know that something is eventually supposed to sprout. You have no idea when it'll actually come up. They give you an estimate of dates, but you don't really know. So you just continue to leave it out in the sun. You continue to give it water. But at the end of the day, you don't really know when the growing will happen. And even when you do start to see that little sprout, you have to still continue to nurture that plant in order for it to grow and really get to the maturity that it's supposed to reach. So I thought that I was like a little seedling back last October. I'm like, oh, yes, I'm about to be fully maturing and all of this stuff. Like, oh, I'm so excited. And I'm actually still waiting to pop out from the dirt. And that is just the real feeling that I have. And so when you are in a growing season, though, sometimes we can feel really good, right? We can feel like, yes, I got it all figured out. Things are perfect. I'm on top of the world. But this is my reminder to just remember to humble yourself, right? Because there was a time when you might have been praying for this exact moment you're in, the one that you're feeling like, oh, yes, I figured it out. We good, right? There was a time when you were hoping for that. And so I always like to just reflect and think back to the things, especially now, like when I'm complaining about stuff today, I'm like, okay, there's so many things I could sit here and I could complain about, but let me look back at Tatiana 5 years ago. Let me look back at Tatiana 10, 15 years ago. She's a whole different person. She's grown. She's had so many answered prayers and blessings. And so it's definitely the increase for me, right? Like it's the increase for me that I'm seeing that God continues to show up, even though I don't know when these things will happen, when it will be a growing season, when things will be great. I know that it's coming. And so that really is what brings me to the last part. But let me see. I want to see what you guys are saying. Oh, perfect timing. Hey, Shalina. Let me see. So my balance issues and hearing loss from brain surgery 9 years ago. I'm trying to find the new me and grow with it. I feel I keep having growing pains. Oh, Derica. I know we've talked one-on-one before, but I don't know how that situation is, but I definitely will continue praying for you. I know that that's tough. And I do think that that's important that you put in there, in quotes, you put new me, because I think that we are always changing. And sometimes we can feel like we've arrived at who we are in this specific stage of our life. And then if anything gets in the path or it changes the trajectory of what we thought we would be doing, it's now a new version of us, but sometimes we're not quite ready to accept it. Where maybe you might feel like you failed or you fell short of something or, just disappointment. And so I can relate to you on that level of just constantly feeling like you have to figure out yourself again in different seasons. But I know that God is going to get you through it. I know that you're going to be better. And you're going to have such an amazing testimony and story to share just because you are going through it. And that was actually one of the things I shared in my presentation that I did at the Society of Creative Founders thing last week. I was talking about being bold and your purpose and all of those things. But one of the things I mentioned was that sometimes the struggles and the pain and just different things we deal with that is not popular, like we don't like it. A lot of times it is what allows us to share that eventually, once we're ready, once we kind of get out of it a little bit. And then it really gives people the potential to set themselves up. So, when I was just kind of sharing my process of starting my stationery business and making my boxes and all of those things, even though I felt like I don't really have that much to offer, like people are going to be laughing, like, what is this? Whatever. That's how I felt. It really set people up for the potential to do so much more. And so I think our stories have a lot in them, even though when we're in it and we're going through it, it's really hard to see that when you're in the thick of it. But a lot of times you're going to be able to encourage so many people, whether it's people within your life, people online, just people within day to day that you come across. There's a reason why we go through these things. I truly believe that. Okay, a girl and a pearl. I'm going to read your comment in 1 second. Let me see. Somebody actually said something on Instagram. So let me see. Kia Stone Shine. I hope I'm reading that right. I prayed to be a stay-at-home mom, full-time, 4 years, and I love it, but sometimes don't feel as grateful. Girl, I know, I know, I know. I definitely know how that is. And first of all, being a stay-at-home mom is such a blessing in itself. I think when you look back, like I'm, in it, but when you look back and you realize all those precious times you had with your children when they're older and they're kind of not really giving you as much attention, I think that's really when you will see just how special that time is. But I also think too that it's okay if you don't feel as grateful, because sometimes, again, like once you get in these new seasons, you think it's going to go one way, but then it ends up being something completely different. So I think that's all just kind of even what Derica was saying, like just that new version of you, maybe you when they were smaller or in the beginning was really just like, oh, I love this. But now as you're getting older, maybe you have new interests and things you want to try. And as the kids sometimes can get a little rough, that can just be a reason in itself. So I definitely completely am with you in that. You have a sister in that for sure, because it is a struggle from day to day being a stay-at-home mom. Being a mom in general, y'all, is just, it's a whole thing. It's definitely a personal journey for all of us, very different. Okay, let's see. Derica said, thank you. I am trying to get my story out there and I added my first video to my YouTube channel. What? Drop your YouTube for us in there so I can shout you out so some people can check out your channel. What's the name of it? Okay, so a girl in a pearl said, and congratulations, by the way, that's so exciting. A girl in a pearl said, that's the place I'm in after graduate school and now needing all of the next steps to get my license as a psychologist. Ooh, feels like I'm still having to prove myself after proving myself in grad school. That is so good. I think that is just so true. I feel like it's like we'll have this one goal that we want to reach. So for her example, grad school, you get to grad school, but then now there's like this new bar. So I think just to reinforce even from the acronym, like your definition of success. So even if like society is saying like, oh, this is the next thing you're supposed to do, this next thing you're supposed to do, just sitting in the celebration of the fact that you made it through grad school and that you're on your way to get your license to be a psychologist, like that is so bomb. And I think that so many people don't give themselves credit for things. There's a lot of people that wish that they could have went to college, and here you are. So I think just the only person I feel we need to prove ourselves to is us when we have set a bar for ourselves, So if you definitely know like you have these different marks and things you want to hit, I think that's wonderful, but don't be hard on yourself and really be in a season of celebration, because that is a huge, huge accomplishment. Like, congratulations. Let's see, Derica. Oh, thank you. Or not Derica, Takia. Thank you for sending some encouragement. And then let's see, Derica said, I think that is why I connect with you, because you show honesty and truth about everything, even struggle. You give courage out to all of us, and I appreciate that. Thank you to everyone. It truly means a lot. Oh, you're welcome, Derica. And yeah, that's what this is all about on here. Like, I just love to share, just like to just keep it real. Like I said, before I get into the last point, um, I really thought this past year was going to be like a full on growing season for me. Like, I just felt it and I just knew it. And it definitely has been a sowing season. But within the sowing season, it has been me definitely getting a lot closer to God, praying a lot more, trying to just be grateful for the things that I do have, and really just embracing my days for what they are. Because I was actually listening to the Transformation Church sermon from this past Sunday, and it was all about being cuffed to control. And I think we all have something in our lives that we are trying to control, and we are realizing that it's just not happening. And I think I've just started really learning this year. I would say probably one of my top lessons this year is to just not even so much like let go, let God kind of thing, but really just to realize that I can't control it. And so I'm just going to embrace the good things in today. So even though my daughter was frustrating me today, asking for 50 million snacks, you know what? I'm just going to embrace the fact that she's here with me and that we have had some laughs, outside of the other things. My dog is having some serious health issues right now. From moment to moment, we don't know if he's going to make it. Like, it's just been all of October has been a struggle with that. But instead, I'm just trying to look at it like, you know what? We're just going to enjoy him while he's here. Let's just be grateful. He was with us through all of these amazing life milestones. He moved across country with us. He was with us when we got married and when we moved to all these different homes and having our first child. And so I'm just trying to just embrace the positive things. And that's really what I suggest when you're in a sowing season, is just to find a way to get closer to God. If that's your jam, I know that's not for everybody, but getting closer to God, just being hopeful, practicing gratitude for the things that you do have, the things that you've seen in the past that have happened for you, and then embracing right now. And then in the growing season, the biggest thing is just to stay humble and realize that there was a time when you was wishing to be where you are, continuing to reflect, and then also just embracing it. It's sitting in that, like we were saying, sitting in that season of celebration and not feeling like you have to be ready to go to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. Like, it's okay to sit in it, and just be happy for yourself and proud of what you're doing. Let me see. Derica said, "Oh, that is tough with pets, our kids thinking of you." Thank you so much. Yeah, it has been a very trying time. So I appreciate it. Truly appreciate it. So the last point is the permission to be expectant. So you don't need permission from me to expect more of your life, to want more, and all of us, what more means is going to be different. I know in a few areas of my life, I would love to just see more, fill in the blank of whatever that is. It could be from people in our lives, it could be our finances, our job situation, our friendships, our businesses, maybe the growth, so many different things. I think that it's just important to be expectant. I know that there's a verse in the Bible for this, and I wish that I would have pulled it up. And I thought I was going to have time to do that. But honestly, Emery, she really had me like I was a track star around here trying to get on here on time. So I didn't get a chance to get the exact verse, but there is something in there about it. And I'm just giving you the permission, because I'm giving myself permission to just be expectant, even though I'm in this sowing season right now. And even though I've had these blessings in the past, and sometimes I feel like, well, maybe that was it for you. Maybe that was kind of like, that was the good things. And now it's just struggle. It's so easy to fall into those negative things, but I'm just going to continue to be hopeful, and I'm going to continue to pray for more, the things that I want. I know that there's proof that life can continue to get better, and I can continue to get better, and the people around me can continue to get better. So I'm just giving myself the permission, which hopefully through that will just remind you all to just be expectant of what you want in your life. That is what increase is all about. And don't ever feel like you can't want more for yourself. I think it's just really, really important. Okay, so let me see. Oh, we got another comment. It is, I do not know what that name is. A Brifkany. I'm sorry if I'm messing it up. I felt compelled to share this amazing episode of a podcast I listened to this morning, Oprah's Super Soul episode called Transform Your Life with Bishop T.D. Jakes. It was 40 minutes of amazing. Really reset my mindset for the day. Definitely worth a listen since we are talking about transformation. Definitely. So yeah, check out that episode that was just recommended on Oprah's podcast. I'll definitely check it out as well. I love podcasts, so I'll definitely add that to my listening list. But yeah, so that is pretty much what I wanted to talk about with you all. I really hope that from what I saw, you guys are resonating with it, but I hope that this helps someone just in whatever it is that you may be going through. If you're watching this later, just know that I'm here for you. And it has been a struggle season for me, but I'm really looking at it as more of a sowing season to know that things will get better. Sometimes we just have to deal with these bumps in the road in order to, smooth ourselves out and come back stronger and all of those different things. I shared a lot of announcements and updates at the beginning of this, but I just wanted to reshare again that I am going to be hosting a planner and notebook boot camp. So if you really want the process for how to manufacture a planner or a notebook and be set up for success for 2023, then definitely make sure you check out that information. You can join immediately, but the actual training will be held on December 3rd. And then also the shop is going to be launching on November 17th. So apparel, bun girl, some stationery items, some fun stuff is going to be coming for Inspire Blueprint. So stay tuned. I'm very excited for that. And let's see, one more comment. This was great. Before I started my business, I was inspired by your journey. I check in here once in a while. Thanks for sharing all of this. Of course, I'm so glad that this has helped you, and wishing you all the best in your business. All of you watching, wishing you the best, and appreciate you hopping on with me this morning/afternoon, depending on when you're watching. And yeah, I will catch everybody later. Thank you so much. Bye.